Hey guys, and welcome back to Unified Gaming. Today we're looking at the Synergizer, a Magicka Nightblade bomb build that is probably the hardest hitting thing in PvP this patch. It's a unique approach to bombing where it's built to work in small scale and group play, whether that's with a Templar or a Magicka Necromancer. This build was designed by Steets, who has much more footage of it in action, so do check their channel out. There's a link in the description, as are all of my social media links. Now if you enjoy watching ESO content, see new builds or just want to get better, then start by subscribing and turn on the bell so you don't miss anything. With introductions out of the way now, let's jump straight in. Now for the race guys, Steets is a Highelf on this or Dark Elf, either work really well. Alternatively you could go as a Breton. All in all though, Highelf and Dark Elf give the most amount of damage which you want, but a Breton is still a decent choice. Failing that, any other race would come in third or fourth. As for his attributes, you want to put all of them into X Magicka, again increasing our damage as high as we can get it. If you find you are a little bit squishy, you can take some of these points and put them into health, but I would advise against this. Now should you be a vampire, a werewolf or just stay as a mortal, and simply put, vampire gives you lots of useful passives like extra sustain, undeath and also no sneak speed penalty, so a vampire is a really good option. Mortal is just as good, so there's up to you. For me personally, I would go as a vampire, but that's personal choice. As for the Mundus, you want to have the Shadow. This increases your critical damage. If you have full divines and everything maxed, it's 13% more damage, which is nuts on the bomb, so definitely worth running this. Alternatively, the Lover is a really good Mundus stone you can run, and failing that, you could go with the Apprentice for a bit more max spell damage. That will make your statue look better, but you won't hit as hard. As for the skills, you want to have Equilibrium on the front bar. This lets you turn your HP into extra Magicka. Help and sustain means we can push a bit more damage overall. We then have Sap Essence. This is an AoE spammable. It does great damage, heals us in the process. Definitely have this skill. We then use Lotus Fan. This is a gap closer, allowing us to teleport into the bomb, making it a bit easier to land the bomb more reliably. It also has a nice dot, which is also helpful. We then have Shadowy Disguise. This is Cloak basically, making you invisible. It's a great defensive skill, and if you cast it just before you do your bomb, you get guaranteed crit, meaning you just melt anybody in front of you. We then have Inner Light to increase our crit chance and increase our Max Magicka, giving us more damage overall. As for the ultimate, we are using Soul Tether. This is a phenomenal ultimate, really worth having. It stuns people, does great damage and it heals you, allowing you to spam Sap Essence a bit more after the initial hit. As for those back bar skills, he's using Siphoning Strikes. This gives us Magicka when we light attack and a small heal, really useful skill. We then have Combat Prayer. This is used to give us Minor Berserk, increasing our damage, and it's kind of a mini burst heal for anybody in the area, so really good for group play. We then have Rapid Regeneration. This is an amazing heal over time that can be put on you or other people, so again brilliant for group play. He then has Race Against Time or Channel Deceleration, depending on which morph you prefer. This increases our crit damage by 10% due to minor falls, gives us snare immunity if we have Race Against Time, and it also gives us Major Expedition, meaning we can get in and out of the bomb with much more ease. Lastly, we have Proximity Detonation. This is the bomb itself. It's a really good skill. Put it on, wait a couple of seconds, then it goes off. The damage amplifies with more people that are in the area. Then for the ultimate, you have a choice of Soul Harvest, which will give you more ultimate generation if you kill people on that bar, and it hits hard, so it's really good. Alternatively, you could use Temporal Guard for just more passive defense, thanks to the minor protection that it offers. Now for the food guys, you want to use Bewitched Sugar Skulls. This is a great food choice, gives you lots of max stat and health recovery. Alternatively, you could use just normal tri-stat food like Longfin Pastry or Venison Pot Roast. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe by clicking the on-screen button that says click to subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss anything as I post regular ESO content. As for the potions, you want to have tri-stat potions to restore your max health, your max stamina and your max magicka. They also give you the recoveries as well. Alternatively, you could use Essence of Immovability, giving you health back, magicka back and CC immunity for 8 to 12 seconds, which is really good. Lastly, you could just use the Alliance War potions or trash potions from the Overland, just to sustain magicka a bit easier. As for the monster set, you want to run a Balorg. This is one of the best bomber sets you can get in the game. It gives you up to 1000 extra spell damage plus the major source you can further that as well when you use your ultimate. really worth having. You want to have a heavy and a medium piece, and you want divines on all of those. You want to have Tri-Stat on the head and Magicka on the small piece. This will give us our Undaunted passives, meaning our max stats are higher, thus we do more damage overall. Now the first 5-piece set is Fisher's Death. It's a very standard set for bombers. You want to have Dual Wield on the front bar to maximise the damage, but a 2H is really good as well. If you go for the Dual Wield, you want to have Nurnhold on the main hand and Sharpened on the offhand. As for the enchantments, you want just damage enchantments or a poison. And then if you went for the 2H version, you go with Nurnhold again, and you go with a damage glyph. The rest of the Fisher's Death comes from the jewellery, and you want to have spell damage on all pieces of jewellery, and you have to transmutate these into harmony. This increases our damage with synergies by up to 90% if we have them gold, and when you synergize with things like the Nova from Templar or the Grave Grasp synergy from Magicka Necromancer, you hit incredibly hard. The second 5-piece set is using Spinner's Garments. New Moon Acolyte is also viable as well, so you can make this if you prefer. Spinner's Garments is the best all-round bomber set you can get, and it pairs really well with Fisher's Death and the Harmony jewelry that we have on this build. He uses 5 body pieces: chest, legs, feet, hands and waist. All of these are divines. You want to have Tri-Stat on the chest and on the legs, and you want Magicka on the small pieces. As we have heavy and medium monster pieces, we still have our 5/1/1 passes from Undaunted. This will give us the highest possible damage that we can achieve on this spec. As I said, New Moon is viable, but the penetration difference between Spinners and New Moon is less, so you'll do less damage on the synergies, but your initial hits will be higher. As for the bat bar, you want to run a Maelstrom Restoration Staff. You want this to be decisive for more ultimate generation. The Maelstrom Restoration Staff will give us more Magicka sustain through our rapid regen, which is very helpful. If you don't have this, you could run a Potente's Restoration Staff for a bit more bulk, or simply go with just a recovery 2-piece such as Seducer. You then want this to be decisive. This will give you more ultimate generation, as I've said, and you want to run either a Berserk glyph for more damage, or an Absorb Magicka for even more sustain. And if you're wondering how do you make a PvP build, especially Magicka focused, I do have a video, there's a card on screen now, so do check it out. As for the CP guys, obviously feel free to pause the CP. I've gone through and I've given it a pass to help me max it. His CP was really good, definitely worth running the CP. As I said, go back and pause it, rewind it, watch it again if you need. Now for the offensive player style on this, you'll see the target and cast Siphoning Strikes. This is just more of a passive buff to give you a bit more max Magicka when you're back there. You then cast Proximity Detonation and you use Rate Against Time or Channel Deceleration. You then cast Combat Prayer to give yourself a minor Berserk. Once you're buffed up like this, you then wait for your teammate to be ready and in position, and you ask them to cast Nova if they're a Templar, or Graveyard if they're a Magicka Necromancer. You can then use your Lotus Fan to teleport in onto the target and cast Soul Tether instantly. This will then stun the enemies, and you can then synergize, which is an AoE and they can't dodge it, and it will one-shot all of those people in that group. Now if you haven't done so already, I would suggest subscribing, clicking the button on screen, it says click to subscribe. And with that said guys, I'll catch you in the next one. So thanks for watching, take care and bye!